What if the key to unlocking, well, immense success in pretty much any aspect of your life, financial, professional, personal, wasn't some, fleeting trend or complex new algorithm,
Hmm.
but instead a set of principles discovered and documented really meticulously nearly a century ago, principles that are still profoundly, almost startlingly relevant today?
It sounds almost too good to be true sometimes, doesn't it? But it is a really compelling thought.
It really is.
Because so often, especially now, everything's so
Yeah.
fast-paced, we find ourselves chasing the newest thing, right? The latest hacks, looking for that instant fix.
Yeah, the quick win.
Exactly. But some wisdom, especially the kind that's distilled from the experiences of, you know, history's giants, it genuinely stands the test of time, offers far more enduring power, I think.
Absolutely. And that timeless wisdom is precisely what we're going to unpack today. Welcome to the deep dive.
Glad to be diving in.
Our focus today is none other than Napoleon Hill's enduring classic, Think and Grow Rich. Now, our source material for this deep dive, it's a comprehensive chapter-by-chapter summary of the book.
And the book itself, it's just remarkable. It's a distillation of Hill's extensive interviews with over 500 of the most successful people of his era.
Yeah, people like Henry Ford, Andrew Carnegie, Thomas Edison. I mean, the list goes on. Think of it as a meticulously crafted blueprint for achievement, drawn directly from the minds of these titans.
And what's truly fascinating and why we're talking about it now is that while this foundational work came out in 1937, the core principles, they just transcend eras. They transcend technologies, economic landscapes, everything.
Right.
So our mission today really is to take an insightful journey. We want to explore not just how these powerful concepts showed up in historical triumphs, but how they're, vibrating with life right now, how they're manifesting in real-world live examples happening right now in 2025.
Hmm.
We're going to look specifically at the incredibly dynamic, rapidly evolving landscape of India.
That's right. We're going to try and bridge that profound wisdom of the past with the undeniable dynamism of the present. We want to help you see exactly how these ideas aren't just theoretical things in dusty old books.
No, not at all.
They're being applied, lived, proven out by individuals, by entire industries thriving today. So we're going to walk you through Hill's 13 fundamental principles, showing you how they can be applied in your own life to spark some truly incredible, maybe even transformative results. Ready to jump in?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
Okay, let's unpack this. We have to start where Hill starts, right? With the absolute foundation for all achievement, your mindset, and maybe even more critically, your desire. It all begins up here, in the mind.
Indeed. Hill really doesn't waste any time. Chapter 1, he introduces the power of thought. And it's so important to get this. It's not just positive thinking in some vague, like wishy-washy way.
It's more concrete than that.
It's a very direct, almost scientific assertion he's making. Your thoughts aren't just fleeting ideas passing through. They are powerful, formative forces that actively shape your reality.
Wow.
And this becomes particularly true, he argues, when those thoughts are really infused with an intense, almost unyielding desire for success.
He sometimes calls this mindset magic, right? And he shows how a deeply focused mind, driven by a really crystal clear goal and, well, an undeniable passion, it acts as a catalyst, a profound one.
Yeah, it quite literally transforms abstract dreams. It's those things that only exist in your head at first, maybe as just a vague hope, into tangible, real-world achievements.
And he backs this up, doesn't he, with stories?
Compelling stories, yeah.
Yeah.
Self-made millionaires. He details how their concentrated mental effort, unwavering and persistent, was really the primary engine that manifested their desired outcomes.
So this first chapter, it really sets the foundational tone. Mindset is the initial, absolutely critical step towards building wealth or achieving any significant success. What's surprising, maybe, is just how direct Hill sees that connection, thought to outcome.
And if we connect this to the historical context, it becomes even more, poignant, I think. Think and Grow Rich first came out in 1937.
Right in the middle of the Great Depression.
Exactly. A brutal time.
Yeah.
Immense economic hardship, widespread unemployment, just profound uncertainty everywhere.
Yeah.
Yet, ironically, this very era, marked by all that external despair, it paradoxically inspired people. It forced them to fundamentally rethink their approach to success, to resilience.
Because the old ways weren't working.
Right. When external conditions were so bleak, when established systems seemed to be failing, when circumstances felt totally out of their control, it pushed individuals to look inward. They were forced to examine their own capabilities, their mental fortitude, their inner resources. And Hill's work provided this powerful, structured framework for doing exactly that. showing how to cultivate internal strength when the external world offered, well, very little hope.
Which is precisely why it hit such a nerve then, and why it still resonates today, I think.
Yeah.
Now, to bring this principle, the power of thought, to life right now in 2025, let's shift our gaze to India. Specifically, the thriving ecosystem of Indian tech startups.
Oh, absolutely. It's a fantastic example.
Their collective explosive success, especially in these really cutting-edge areas like advanced AI solutions, sustainable tech, it feels like a direct testament to this very principle.
It really does. And it's not just about one individual's brilliant thought, is it? It's the synergistic power of a shared, focused, profoundly innovative mindset that's driving an entire industry forward.
They're literally building the future out of ideas and code.
Exactly. Much like Hill described how focused mental effort can manifest desired outcomes. They're collectively thinking their future into existence, you could say. What stands out is not just the individual brilliance, but how that collective mental focus, a shared vision among founders, engineers, investors, creates an entirely new economic reality.
It's the multiplier effect.
Precisely. It's not just one person thinking. It's when hundreds, thousands of brilliant minds focus with similar intensity on an innovative shared goal. The impact is multiplied exponentially. It's a powerful validation of Hill's foundational premise, but on a grand scale.
So for you, listening right now, what clear, specific goal do you have? Something that, if you approached it with intense, unwavering focus and real passion, could truly begin to spark tangible results in your life.
It's worth asking.
Take a moment maybe later to consider how your current thoughts might be shaping your reality positively or negatively. That's the core challenge from Chapter 1, really.
Building right on that power of thought, Hill then moves from the general idea of mental energy to something much more specific, much more potent. That's Chapter 2, Desire the Starting Point.
This is where the abstract dream gets its fuel, its engine.
Yes, exactly. And here he makes a critical distinction. He clarifies that a mere wish for something is completely, fundamentally different from what he calls a burning desire.
Okay, what's the difference?
The latter, the burning desire, it's a profound, unyielding drive, an almost obsessive intensity, really. It propels individuals beyond obstacles, past setbacks, through skepticism.
So it's much stronger than just wanting something.
Oh, absolutely. It's the kind of desire so potent it makes you genuinely incapable of giving up, because the alternative is just unthinkable. It's more than motivation. He describes it like an internal furnace.
Wow. And it's not enough just to feel that burning desire inside, right? Hill says you have to translate it.
Exactly. He emphasizes the absolute necessity of translating this deep, fervent desire into a concrete, specific plan with clear, actionable steps.
You need a map.
You need a map, however rough at first. Your desire must lead to a blueprint. And the chapter provides compelling real-life examples showing how this profound determination pays off. It distinguishes those who succeed from those who merely wish, dream, and then, well, ultimately flounder. This determination acts as the ultimate filter, he argues.
Sifting the serious from the hopeful.
Precisely. Historically, you see this principle perfectly embodied in someone like Henry Ford back in the 1920s.
Right, the car guy.
A car guy. His unprecedented success wasn't just luck or timing. It was driven by this unshakable, almost radical desire for mass production, to make cars accessible to the average person, not just the wealthy elite.
Which was a crazy idea back then.
Absolutely. It flew in the face of skepticism, huge financial hurdles, the sheer complexity of building that kind of enterprise. He famously demanded a V8 engine in one block when his engineer said, impossible.
And he got it.
His burning desire pushed through every barrier until it was achieved. It showcases the power of clear, audacious goals fueled by an unyielding will.
That's a perfect example. A specific want pushing past huge obstacles and bringing it right into 2025 India, we see a fascinating, very widespread example. Look at the aggressive saving habits of many young Indians, specifically saving to buy homes.
That's a strong trend.
It's not just about sensible financial planning or a good investment strategy, though it is those things too. It seems to be about a deep, almost innate desire for stability, for security, for upward mobility, establishing roots.
A foundational life goal.
Exactly. And that goal fuels years, sometimes decades, of consistent, disciplined action, often foregoing immediate gratification for that long-term prize. They're not just wishing for a home. They're showing this collective burning desire that dictates their financial choices, their sacrifices.
What's truly fascinating there is how a deeply ingrained cultural and personal desire for long-term stability translates into tangible long-term financial behavior, often across a whole generation. It's a prime illustration of how a foundational desire, shared and deeply felt, can dictate immense collective action and sustained personal sacrifice over long periods. It proves Hill's point on a national scale, really.
So, for you, listening again, what is that one thing you deeply desire? Not just wish for. Is it a promotion, a new skill, starting a business, something else? Have you articulated it into a specific actionable plan, even if it's just the first few steps? That's where Hill says the journey truly begins.
Right. From desire, we pivot. We move from the external manifestation of thought and desire more towards the inner architect of success, the internal programming, if you will. Chapter 3 delves into faith, visualization, and belief.
Okay, faith. This sounds important.
It's crucial in Hill's framework. He asserts that unwavering faith both in yourself and in the attainability of your goals is a fundamental cornerstone of success.
It's not just blind optimism, though, is it?
No, not at all. Not just hoping for the best. Hill describes it as a cultivated certainty, a deep internalized conviction that your goal isn't just possible, but inevitable if you apply the other principles.
How do you cultivate that?
Well, he advocates for the daily, systematic practice of visualization of your success.
Ah, okay. Seeing it happen.
Yes, but it's not passive daydreaming. It's an active, immersive mental practice designed to build profound self-confidence and that deep-seated belief in attainability. Hill highlights how truly seeing your goal is already achieved. Visualizing the sights, the sounds, the feelings of accomplishment helps make it real for your subconscious mind.
So your mind starts to accept it as reality.
Exactly. It reinforces the mind's acceptance of it as a future reality. The chapter really drives home that seeing it mentally is a massive, often overlooked step towards believing it. And believing it then drives the actions that achieve it.
The historical context you mentioned earlier for this one is powerful.
Incredibly powerful. Think about Mahatma Gandhi's leadership in India's freedom movement back in the 1940s. Gandhi's unwavering faith in nonviolent resistance. His absolute conviction in India's eventual independence. It was truly remarkable, especially given the seemingly insurmountable odds: colonial rule, mass arrests, widespread despair. Despite facing immense challenges, his absolute belief, his cultivated certainty, it mobilized millions. His faith wasn't just personal, it became contagious. A transformative force that ultimately achieved one of history's most significant peaceful revolutions. His ability to visualize an independent India fueled the actions of an entire nation.
That's an extraordinary example of believe it. Seeing your goal helps make it real. And for a live example, 2025 India, look at students, particularly those prepping for really competitive exams.
Yes, the pressure there is immense.
They often engage in what's basically a direct micro-level application of Hill's faith principle. They visualize passing their exams with flying colors.
They don't just study the facts.
Exactly. They mentally rehearse success, picturing themselves answering questions correctly, seeing the results pop up, feeling that profound relief and joy of success. This consistent mental practice, this cultivated certainty, it directly contributes to boosting their actual performance and confidence in those high-pressure situations, reduces anxiety, enhances recall.
Which raises an important question for all of us, doesn't it? If something as relatively simple as visualizing exam success demonstrably improves performance and confidence.
Yeah.
Imagine the compounding impact of consistent, deeply felt visualization on much larger, more ambitious life goals. It's about consciously programming your internal belief system to align with what you want to achieve.
So, for you listening, how can you consistently integrate daily visualization into your routine? Strengthen your belief in your own capabilities, your goals. What specific, vivid image of success can you hold in your mind? Make it real, make it emotionally charged, starting today.
From cultivating that inner faith, we move to the practical application of mental conditioning. Chapter 4, Autosuggestion Training the Mind.
Okay, autosuggestion. This sounds like talking to yourself.
In a very specific way, yes. Hill introduces autosuggestion as a technique where the emotional repetition of your goals and affirmations actively shapes your subconscious thoughts and beliefs.
Emotional repetition. So feeling it is key.
Absolutely. It's about consciously, deliberately feeding your mind the messages you want it to internalize, effectively overriding limiting beliefs or negative self-talk. He views the subconscious like a fertile garden, ready to receive whatever seeds you plant.
And you need to keep planting them.
Daily practice, he suggests. Consistency is absolutely key. He says this consistent repetition strengthens belief, makes the desired outcome seem not just possible, but increasingly achievable, almost like you're magnetically drawing them closer. The chapter connects this to broader self-improvement trends throughout history, showing that people have long understood the power of influencing their own minds through deliberate mental conditioning.
It's mind training, really. A constant, intentional dialogue with your inner self.
Exactly. The historical context that really lights this up is the 1970s self-help boom.
Ah, yeah. Affirmations became big then.
Big time. Popularization of affirmations, positive self-talk, various forms of mental programming, concepts like transcendental meditation focused on mantra repetition and mental calming, and the burgeoning field of positive psychology gained huge traction.
And they all align with Hill's ideas.
Perfectly. With his emphasis on mental conditioning, the idea that you could consciously direct your internal world to influence your external circumstances. People were actively seeking tangible methods to take control of their inner narratives, and autosuggestion offered a clear path.
Okay, live example. 2025, India. What does this look like now?
We frequently see Indian professionals using morning affirmations, often as a dedicated, non-negotiable part of their daily routine before the workday even starts.
What kind of affirmations?
Powerful phrases like, I am destined for a higher role and greater responsibility, or I attract abundant opportunities for career growth and financial prosperity. Things like that.
And they do this with a specific goal in mind.
Yes, specifically to manifest and secure better job opportunities or promotions. It's not just wishful thinking. It's a deliberate, consistent practice employed for very tangible career advancement, a direct, contemporary application of autosuggestion in a highly competitive professional world.
What's fascinating there is how it's not just about feeling good, right? It's targeted, outcome-oriented.
Highly targeted.
Yeah.
It's about programming the subconscious to actively seek, recognize, even create specific opportunities aligned with career growth, financial objectives. It shows the practical, results-focused nature of Hill's principles when you apply them consistently.
So for you listening, what specific affirmation charged with genuine emotion could you begin to use daily to powerfully reinforce your most important goals? How can you make this practice a consistent, non-negotiable part of your morning routine to truly train your mind for success?
Next up is Chapter 5, and it's a powerful one. Often challenges conventional thinking, this one. Specialized knowledge.
Okay, not just any knowledge. Specialized.
Exactly. Hills makes a very strong, almost provocative argument here. Challenged wisdom back then, still does today. He asserts that broad, general knowledge, while valuable for being well-rounded,
Sure.
it rarely leads to significant wealth or profound success on its own. Instead, it's the acquisition of highly specific, deeply targeted skills and knowledge directly applicable to your defined goals that matters most.
So depth over breadth for achieving big goals.
Precisely. He advises a highly strategic approach to learning. Focus strictly on what aligns with and directly contributes to your objectives. It's not about knowing a little about everything. It's about knowing a lot about the few crucial things that truly move the needle for your specific path.
Cultivating precision in your knowledge. Becoming an expert in a specific niche.
Yes. The chapter reflects on how education has shifted, emphasizing the increasing value of niche expertise, targeted skills. Historically, the 1990s IT boom in India is an absolutely fantastic illustration of this.
Oh, yeah, that was transformative.
Truly transformative. That era underscored the immense, almost explosive value of specialized training. Software development, coding, specific IT skills. It wasn't general computer literacy that propelled India onto the global tech stage. It was mastery of very specific programming languages, complex algorithms, database management, development methodologies. That created a massive multi-billion-dollar industry and countless self-made millionaires. Deep, specialized expertise in a rapidly emerging field.
Then that trend has only accelerated, hasn't it?
Massively. In 2025, India, look at coders and data scientists mastering advanced AI tools, machine learning frameworks.
Cutting-edge stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Their expertise isn't just general coding. It's in specific AI frameworks like TensorFlow or PyTorch, natural language processing, particular aspects of large language models. This highly specialized mastery directly leads to highly sought-after, incredibly high-paying roles in top global tech companies.
So they're leveraging targeted skills for elite positions.
Absolutely. In an intensely competitive landscape, we connect this to the bigger picture of today's knowledge economy. It highlights a critical point. In an increasingly complex, specialized world, generalists might have broad understanding, which is useful contextually.
Right.
But it's almost always the specialists, the deep experts who command the highest value, drive the biggest innovations, solve the most pressing problems. That's where the real economic leverage lies.
So, for you listening right now, what specialized knowledge or specific skill is most directly relevant and impactful for your current goals? Where can you acquire that precise, targeted expertise that will truly move the needle for you, rather than just accumulating more general info? It's about precision in your learning strategy.
Okay, moving into the realm of action and adaptation now. Transitioning from internal prep to outward creation, we arrive at Chapter 6, Imagination, Creating Opportunities.
Imagination. This sounds more creative, less tangible.
Hill positions it not as some whimsical luxury, but as an utterly pivotal practical force, taking you from just conceiving an idea to actually executing it. He's very precise, actually categorizing it into two types.
Okay.
Creative imagination, generating entirely new, original ideas or solutions, and practical imagination, applying existing ideas or technologies in novel ways or to solve new problems.
Both are important.
Essential, he says, but for different stages. He urges us to deliberately cultivate both, emphasizing that true innovation, whether it's a brand new invention or just a fresh, more efficient way of doing something old, is the pathway to new forms of wealth, previously unseen opportunities.
It's about idea power, then. Seeing what isn't there yet and figuring out how to bring it into being.
Exactly. The chapter links this directly to historical inventions, groundbreaking breakthroughs, showing how the most revolutionary innovations consistently arose from imaginative thought that dared to see beyond the current reality. The quintessential historical example, one Hill often cited himself, is Thomas Edison, developing the practical light bulb in the 1870s.
Right, the light bulb moment. Literally.
Literally.
Yeah.
But it wasn't just a technical achievement from trial and error. It was a supreme example of creative imagination, turning a fundamental human need, reliable light after dark, into a revolutionary product.
And spawning a whole industry.
Exactly. Transforming daily life globally. Edison didn't just iterate on existing lamps. He envisioned a complete, integrated system for electric lighting and power distribution. It perfectly illustrates the transformative power of novel, imaginative thinking combined with relentless practical application.
Okay, fast forward to 2025 India. What's the live example?
We see Indian innovators actively designing eco-friendly products, sustainable solutions across various sectors, biodegradable packaging, electric vehicles, smart grid tech.
So applying imagination to current problems.
Precisely. Addressing pressing contemporary challenges like climate change, resource scarcity. They're envisioning new materials, innovative production processes, entirely new business models that not only reduce environmental impact, but also create new markets, new jobs, novel solutions.
So imagination creating value where none existed before.
Exactly. And what's fascinating here is how Hill's concept isn't limited to grand, world-changing inventions. It's also about the continuous, iterative process of finding creative solutions to everyday problems, sustainability, efficiency, human interaction, cultivating the ability to see possibility where others see only obstacles.
So for you listening, how can you deliberately cultivate both your creative and practical imagination to identify or even create new opportunities in your own sphere, career, business, projects? What existing problems could you approach with a fresh, innovative perspective, like those eco-innovators?
From the sparks of imagination that generate ideas, we move to the essential structure that brings them to life. Chapter 7, Organized Planning.
Right. Ideas are only as good as the plan that follows them.
Hill stresses this unequivocally. A clear, well-structured strategy is infinitely more effective than random, uncoordinated efforts. It's the difference, he says, between hoping for success and actively building a reliable pathway towards it.
A plan provides direction, minimizes wasted effort.
Exactly. Clarifies priorities. But, and this is critical, he also emphasizes the importance of flexibility within that structure.
So plans aren't set in stone.
Definitely not. They shouldn't be rigid documents. They should be dynamic, living blueprints, adjusted, refined, even completely overhauled as circumstances change, as new information emerges, as challenges arise. It's about being adaptable, responsive.
And teamwork comes in here too.
Strongly suggested. Strategic use of teamwork, collaboration to effectively execute ideas. He reflects on how structured yet adaptable planning shaped past successes, from military campaigns to corporate empires. Historically, the 1950s Indian five-year plans offer a compelling large-scale parallel.
Ah, the government planning era.
Yes, ambitious government-led initiatives for national development. Comprehensive, incredibly detailed, aiming to uplift a newly independent nation. Despite the immense complexities, the challenges of planning on that scale.
It must have been tough.
Incredibly.
Yeah.
And needing constant refinement. But these plans were absolutely instrumental in boosting India's early post-independence economic growth, building critical infrastructure, laying groundwork for the future. They provided a framework, a collective roadmap that, while often adjusted, allowed for directed effort on a national scale.
And today, 2025 India, how does planning look?
Modern businesses, from startups to established corporations, are actively using sophisticated modern apps, advanced software to meticulously refine and continuously adjust their plans. Sales plans, marketing strategies, operational
It's not
logistics.
just setting it and forgetting it.
Not at all. They're leveraging real-time data analytics, CRM tools, even AI-powered forecasting to continuously review, adjust, optimize strategies in real time, daily, weekly basis sometimes. It demonstrates a highly dynamic, technology-driven approach to continuous strategic adjustment, embodying Hill's principle of planning with flexibility, agile execution.
Which raises that question Hill would ask, right? If big businesses and governments rely so heavily on structured, adaptable plans,
Why would individuals or smaller ventures operate any differently? The principles of organized planning, with built-in flexibility, they're truly universal, regardless of the scale of your ambition.
so, for you listening, do you have a solid, articulated plan for your goals? Or are your efforts more random, reactive? And critically, how often do you really review and adjust your strategy based on new info, unexpected outcomes, challenges? That continuous refinement is key to sustained progress.
Building on the need for a plan, Hill moves to a critical action point. Chapter 8. Decision acting quickly.
Okay, this is where execution meets opportunity, making the call.
Hill observes that successful individuals are consistently distinctly characterized by their swift decision-making abilities, and coupled with that, a resolute, almost unwavering commitment to those decisions once made.
So it's not just making a choice, but making it firmly and fast.
Exactly. He views indecision as a fatal flaw for success seekers. He issues a very strong warning against procrastination, and especially chronic indecision, identifying them as significant paralyzing impediments to progress.
It's not just making any decision quickly, though, right?
Not necessarily reckless, but making a quick, informed decision and then sticking to it. Only changing course after careful, deliberate reconsideration. The chapter draws insights from historical decision-makers, showing how decisive action, often under immense pressure, consistently leads to victory or breakthroughs, while hesitation often leads to missed opportunities or defeat. Quick choices creating powerful momentum.
The historical context you mentioned for this is stark, World War II.
Vivid and powerful, yes. Think of leaders making swift, high-stakes calls in the heat of battle. Generals like Patton, Eisenhower, strategists, political leaders. They had to rapidly assess incredibly complex, constantly changing situations and make immediate, often irreversible decisions. Decisions determining the fate of armies, millions of lives, the course of the war itself.
The pressure must have been unbelievable.
Exactly. These pivotal moments highlight that crucial, almost existential link between quick choice and impactful momentum, where even a moment of hesitation could mean catastrophic defeat. The weight of consequence amplified the need for speed.
A powerful parallel. And a live example in 2025, India.
Look at experienced Indian traders. Stock market, crypto markets, volatile, fast-moving environments.
Right, things change in seconds there.
Their success, their survival often hinges entirely on acting fast and decisively on rapidly changing trends. In a world where prices fluctuate dramatically in seconds, the ability to absorb info, interpret signals, make a rapid decision buy, sell, and execute without hesitation is absolutely paramount for financial gain.
Delay costs money. Big time.
Literally. Delay even moments can mean missing a huge opportunity or incurring a significant irrecoverable loss.
What's fascinating is how that core principle, quick, firm decision-making, applies across such different contexts. War rooms, trading floors.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It speaks to a fundamental human capacity for rapid assessment, confident choice, and unwavering commitment that consistently separates the highly effective Gels from those left behind, unable to seize fleeting opportunities.
So, for you listening, when faced with a choice, especially a significant one, do you tend to deliberate endlessly, get stuck in analysis paralysis? Or do you act decisively, even if it feels a bit uncomfortable at first? Where in your life could quicker, more confident decisions build crucial momentum towards your goals and unlock new opportunities? It's a skill, Hill implies, that can definitely be honed.
And finally, in this crucial section on action and adaptation, we reach Chapter 9, Persistence, Staying the Course.
Persistence. This feels like the real grit chapter.
It really is. Hill emphasizes that true desire, that burning desire we talked about earlier, it's often rigorously tested. by tough times, unexpected obstacles, moments of profound adversity. Persistence, then, isn't just stubbornness. It's the unwavering commitment to your goals, the unshakable resolve to continue, even when faced with significant setbacks, repeated failures, those moments that just make you want to quit. It's the engine that carries you through the inevitable valleys.
And he links this directly to past success stories.
Countless triumphs, yes, suggesting that virtually no significant achievement in history came without overcoming considerable challenges, enduring immense difficulty. The chapter aims to motivate through real-life examples of incredible grit, resilience, sheer tenacity, illustrating powerfully that success is very often a direct result of simply refusing to surrender, keeping going when everything tells you to stop.
When the path seems blocked, when others have given up, it's the ultimate differentiator.
Exactly. The 1990s Indian tech resilience is a perfect historical example.
Right, we touched on that with specialized knowledge.
Yes, but here focusing on persistence. This formative period, India's burgeoning tech industry, brimming with talent, faced daunting challenges. Limited, unreliable infrastructure, power outages, nascent funding, intense global competition.
Huge hurdles.
Yet the industry's collective perseverance through these limitations, its unwavering commitment to building, learning, adapting, that ultimately established it as a major global player. It was a monumental act of collective persistence against incredible odds, demonstrating the power of sheer tenacity.
And we see that same spirit today, 2025 India, with farmers.
A really powerful example. Despite the ongoing existential threat of increasingly frequent severe droughts due to climate change.
Which can devastate livelihoods.
Utterly.
Yeah.
Yet many farmers are persistently adopting new, more resilient crops, implementing innovative water-saving irrigation, embracing sustainable farming practices. It demonstrates this enduring, almost heroic commitment to adapting and sustaining their livelihoods against environmental challenges that are literally existential.
Their ability to persist, learn, adapt in the face of nature's unpredictability is remarkable.
It truly is. And it raises an important point about how our environment, economic, natural, often forces us to develop resilience. Whether it's economic hardship, market volatility, climate challenges, persistence becomes not just a virtue, but an absolute necessity for survival, for growth, for ultimately achieving goals. It resonates across all domains.
So, for you listening, what significant challenge are you currently facing? Something that's truly testing your desire, making you question your path. How can you consciously cultivate more persistence in those moments where you feel like giving up? Where the easy path seems to be abandoning your goal. Remember, Hill suggests success often comes just after the point of wanting to quit.
Now we move into the final, more expansive, perhaps most intriguing section of Hill's principles, delving into collaboration, the subconscious, even intuition. We begin with Chapter 10, the mastermind team power.
Ah, the mastermind. This is one of Hill's most famous concepts, isn't it?
Undoubtedly, and for good reason. He introduces the mastermind group, this powerful dynamic where individuals with diverse skills, knowledge, experiences, perspectives intentionally come together.
Okay.
The profound idea here is that their collective intelligence and effort create a synergy, an amplification of individual potential that far exceeds what any single person could achieve alone. It's truly a multiplier effect. The sum is greater than its parts.
And he suggests actively building this kind of group.
Strongly suggests it. Strategically surrounding yourself not just with supportive people, but supportive like-minded individuals who can actively contribute their unique strengths, insights, perspectives to your goals.
So it's more than just having friends or colleagues.
Much more. It's about deliberately building a formal or informal team whose combined intellectual and practical efforts can exponentially multiply your own. The chapter richly reflects on historical collaborations, showing how powerful alliances often formed behind the scenes, built vast empires, drove revolutionary innovations, achieved extraordinary feats impossible for one person, leveraging collective intelligence for amplified team strength.
The ultimate historical example he used was Carnegie, right?
Andrew Carnegie, yes. One Hill studied closely, the legendary steel magnate. He certainly didn't build his dominant empire alone. He was a visionary, sure, but he strategically assembled a formidable team.
Specialists.
Highly capable, specialized individuals, experts in production, finance, sales, logistics, labor relations. Their combined intelligence, perfectly complementary skills, collective, coordinated effort were absolutely essential in optimizing his massive operations, outmaneuvering competitors, scaling his business to unprecedented levels. It was a mastermind at its zenith, a deliberate assembly of talent.
And in 2025 India, how does this look with startups?
Indian startups, particularly in those bustling tech hubs like Bangalore, Hyderabad, they're actively forming networks, collaborative hubs for accelerated growth.
But not just co-working.
No, it's deeper. Intentionally sharing resources, offering mentorship, engaging in collective problem-solving sessions, informally pooling knowledge on market trends, funding opportunities. They profoundly understand that competing alone in a rapidly evolving, hyper-competitive market is far less effective than leveraging the collective brainpower, diverse skills, powerful connections of a broader ecosystem.
It's the modern mastermind principle in action.
Perfectly embodies it, showing that even in highly competitive fields, collaboration can be the ultimate competitive advantage. What's fascinating is the evolution of the concept, from industrial giants to agile, digital-first startups today. The underlying principle remains timelessly potent. The combined energy, intelligence, diverse capabilities of a focused group aligned on a common purpose is exponentially more powerful than individual effort, no matter how brilliant.
So, for you listening, who are the key individuals in your life who genuinely support your goals, who possess complementary skills or perspectives? How can you consciously cultivate a mastermind type of relationship with them, even if it's informal, to amplify your efforts, overcome challenges, accelerate your progress towards your most ambitious goals?
From the collective power of the mastermind, we now delve deep into the individual's inner power. Specifically, Chapter 11, the subconscious mind.
Okay, the subconscious. This is where the unseen forces within us really come into play.
Hill explains that your subconscious mind is powerful, often overlooked, perpetually active. It drives your actions, your habits, ultimately your outcomes. He presents it almost like an inner command center.
Wow.
When this subconscious is consistently imbued with positive, clear, intensely goal-oriented thoughts, especially when charged with profound emotional energy, it works tirelessly, often beneath conscious awareness, to manifest those desires into your reality.
So it starts arranging things behind the scenes.
It literally begins to arrange circumstances, attract opportunities to align with what you've programmed into it. And he ties this directly to emotional energy, emphasizing that thoughts charged with strong feeling, burning desire, unwavering faith, relentless persistence have a far stronger, more direct, lasting impact on the subconscious.
It's not just what you think, but how you feel about what you think.
Precisely. The chapter delves into historical mental focus techniques, illustrating how people throughout ages have long understood the power of inner programming, even without calling it the subconscious. It's about mind fuel, positive, emotionally charged input leading to positive outcomes. The 1960s meditation trend provides good historical context.
Right, meditation gained popularity then.
Widespread appeal in the West. Practices aimed at focusing, calming, influencing the mind mantra repetition, guided visualization, deep breathing. These practices emphasizing mental discipline, cultivating positive internal states, repetitive positive input.
They align with Hill's ideas about feeding the subconscious.
Perfectly. With deliberately feeding the subconscious desired outcomes, a sense of inner calm, certainty. Early forms of applied autosuggestion and subconscious programming, essentially. And in 2025 India, we see students again, especially facing those high-stakes competitive exams,
Using mindfulness techniques.
actively utilizing mindfulness, focused meditation, not just studying facts, consciously engaging in practices to enhance focus, reduce crippling exam anxiety, improve memory recall.
So influencing their subconscious for better performance.
Exactly, by calming their minds, visualizing success, deliberately focusing on positive outcomes and capabilities, they are directly influencing their subconscious for better academic and performance results. A clear contemporary application for tangible benefit.
Which raises that maybe unsettling question, how much attention do we really pay to the thoughts, beliefs, emotional energy we let reside in our subconscious?
Hill profoundly suggests it's not just an archive, it's an active, powerful control panel shaping our entire reality, making mindful input incredibly critical.
So for you listening, how conscious are you of the thoughts you're feeding your subconscious daily? Especially those emotional thoughts. What positive, emotionally charged thoughts could you deliberately, consistently introduce to align with your deepest goals and desires, helping your subconscious work for you, not against you?
Now for one of Hill's more intriguing, maybe abstract analogies, but one that resonates surprisingly well today, Chapter 12, the brain, a power station.
Okay, the brain as a broadcasting station.
He moves beyond just the subconscious here, conceptualizes the brain not merely as an organ processing info, but as a dynamic, living broadcasting station, actively sending out thought waves, like a radio signal.
And receiving too.
Crucially, yes, capable of receiving opportunities, insights, inspirations from the universe, or a collective consciousness, like a finely tuned radio receiver. It's a powerful, poetic metaphor for mental resonance. He suggests that by consciously, consistently directing your thoughts metaphorically, tuning into a specific frequency of success, abundance, opportunity, you can actively attract desired outcomes. Open yourself to new possibilities.
And this connects to technology of his time.
Directly to historical technological leaps, specifically wireless communication, which was revolutionary then. The profound idea of thought waves creating energetic connections to opportunities quite avant-garde for the 1930s. The 1920s radio boom is the perfect backdrop.
Radio was magic back then.
Absolute marvel. Transmitting, receiving invisible waves over vast distances, instantly connecting people. It almost certainly inspired Hill's analogy. The idea that clear, focused thought, charged with emotion, could somehow be broadcast out and received back as opportunities or insights, a powerful contemporary metaphor for him to explain a deep concept.
And the 2025 India parallel.
Fascinating one. The rise of Indian creators, YouTubers, Instagrammers, independent artists, entrepreneurs, educators.
Our huge ecosystem.
Vibrant. They're strategically using social media, digital channels to profoundly grow their businesses' personal brands. They are, in a very real, tangible sense, using these channels to broadcast their ideas, art, services, unique brands globally.
And receiving back.
Incredible engagement, massive customer bases, powerful collaborations, new opportunities. It mirrors Hill's concept on a tangible digital plane, literally broadcasting focused thoughts and receiving tangible rewards.
It's amazing how his abstract concept finds such a practical parallel in modern digital communication.
It really is. Speaks to the enduring power of putting your ideas, intention, the unique offerings out into the world with intention, clarity, and then being prepared to receive what resonates back.
So for you listening, if you accept your brain as a powerful broadcasting station, what kind of signals, what intentional thoughts and ideas are you consistently sending out? And maybe more importantly, how are you actively tuning in, preparing yourself to receive the opportunities and insights aligned with your deepest goals? Are you broadcasting with purpose, and are you truly ready to receive?
Finally, we arrive at the culmination of Hill's principles, the ultimate reward for mastering all the preceding stages. Chapter 13.
The sixth sense.
The sixth sense. Sounds a bit mystical. Hill describes it as a highly developed form of intuition, an innate guidance system, an internal advisor, aiding in making major decisions, spotting opportunities others miss, navigating complex situations with uncanny accuracy.
It's that gut feeling, knowing without knowing how you know.
Exactly. But he posits, this heightened intuitive ability isn't some random gift you're born with.
No.
Instead, it's presented as the direct, profound culmination, the well-earned reward for diligently applying, integrating, mastering the 12 preceding principles. It's the ultimate payoff for all that inner work, focused effort, consistent action.
So experience and mastery refine this inner knowing.
Precisely. The chapter reflects on historical instances where intuitive insights, not pure logic, led to significant wins, breakthroughs, strongly suggesting deep experience combined with mastering Hill's principles, refines and hones this inner knowing, making it a reliable guide. Historically, ancient traders are a compelling example.
Before computers and data analysis.
Exactly. In the complete absence of modern data, complex models, global communication, shrewd traders relied heavily on their gut feeling, their intuitive understanding of market dynamics, human behavior, unspoken signals. Their success often hinged on an almost innate, refined sixth sense, when to buy, sell, whom to trust in highly unpredictable environments. An intuitive grasp developed through years of immersive experience, acute observation.
And bringing this to 2025 India, you mentioned crypto investors.
Yes, experienced investors in the highly volatile crypto market. While data analysis, charts, research are crucial,
Of course.
many seasoned investors openly admit they often trust their hunches, their intuition on specific trends or shifts. After years intensely observing patterns, understanding market psychology, processing vast, often contradictory info,
They develop a feel for it.
an intuitive feel for market shifts, which they then combine with analysis. They often make rapid, successful decisions based on a feeling or knowing, honed by immense experience and consistent application of many of Hill's previous principles, almost like a trained muscle of intuition.
Which raises that important question. If Hill is right, developing powerful intuition isn't just waiting for a random flash.
No, it's about systematically building that solid foundation. Disciplined thought, clear desire, faith, specialized knowledge, planning, persistence, conscious mental conditioning,
Yeah.
which then, over time, unlocks and refines this higher intuitive guidance.
So for you listening, do you actively pay attention to your gut feelings, your intuition when making important decisions, especially where data might be incomplete or ambiguous? And more provocatively, how might diligently mastering the previous 12 principles enhance your own intuitive capabilities over time, turning your inner voice into your most powerful, reliable guide?
Wow, we've really covered a lot today.
We really have an incredibly deep dive into Napoleon Hill's timeless masterpiece, Think and Grow Rich. We've explored all 13 fundamental principles for success, from that foundational power of thought and the absolute necessity of burning desire.
To cultivating unwavering faith, acquiring specialized knowledge, crafting organized plans, demonstrating relentless persistence.
And then we journeyed into those fascinating concepts, the synergistic mastermind group, the profound influence of the subconscious mind, Hill's intriguing brain as broadcasting station analogy.
And finally, developing that ultimate guiding force, the sixth sense.
And crucially, we've tried to show how these timeless ideas aren't just historical footnotes from the 1930s. They are powerfully alive, manifesting in vibrant, tangible, real-world examples across the dynamic landscape of India in 2025.
Absolutely. From those innovative tech startups and ambitious youth saving for homes, to students visualizing exam success, coders mastering cutting-edge AI, farmers persistently adopting resilient crops, and investors trusting honed intuition in volatile markets. Hill's principles continue to be a living, breathing blueprint for achievement, applied and proven out every single day.
They truly are. And as you consider these powerful, actionable principles, we want to leave you with one final provocative thought, something to really mull over. Ask yourself, if your future success, your personal fulfillment, your desired wealth are genuinely a reflection of your sustained thoughts, your burning desires, and your consistent actions, what profound transformation will you begin today to intentionally think and grow rich in the areas that matter most to you?
The comprehensive blueprint is there, laid out clearly.
The choice, as always, is profoundly, powerfully yours.